You're watching the first Newshour debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
Supporting the victim since day one on this, and in fact fighting a bit of a lonely battle in the subject, is Indira Jaising. She is Additional Solicitor General of India, and she's taking on Subramanian Swamy on the other side, who's made all kinds of statements. Some of them, I must say, Mr. Subramanian Swamy's statements lack any serious factual basis. It's simply suppositions, but we'll talk to him about that. Also joining the debate tonight is KTS Tulsi, Advocate of the Supreme Court, Kavita Krishnan, National Secretary of the All India Progressive Women's Association, well-known activist, and Sanjay Hegde of the Supreme Court. Thank you very much. Subramanian Swamy, I know that you have taken a position for Justice Ganguly on this, but I find some of the statements you have made simply unbelievable, if you don't mind my saying so. You say, incidentally, the Ambanis are dead against Justice Ganguly for his 2G judgment. Anil Ambani was hit hard. I mean, that's ridiculous for you to try and link the 2G judgment with the allegation in this case. Would you like to revise the kind of comment which you made there? Why are you pushing the point so hard that you are making these incorrect remarks?
What did I say incorrect remarks?
You have tried to draw a link between these charges and 2G.
I never do. You have not, you quote me, you read out what I said. I said that there are people against Ganguly. There is nothing conclusive. I would like to wait for the Supreme Court.
No, what has it got? What have people got to do with being against Mr. Ganguly got to do?
Well,
what has it got to do with this case?
We know. What do you mean? What has it got to do with this case? I would like to know whether Mr. Ganguly has been framed or not.
What are you saying? You're saying Mr. Ganguly has been framed. You're saying Mr. Ganguly. 1 second. You're saying Mr. Ganguly has been framed.
I didn't say Mr. Ganguly is framed. I didn't say Mr. Ganguly is framed. Don't put words in my mouth as you usually tend to do. I said that I would like to be sure that Mr. Ganguly has not been framed.
I think that's, I think that's really trying to, by the way, I'm not putting any words in your mouth. I'm simply repeating. 1 second. Mr. Swamy.
I am tweeting to my followers, and I am trying to put them wise to the situation.
Yes, you're making a comment in the public domain. You are putting a comment in the public domain. Now you don't want to backtrack on it, Mr. Swamy.
That's all right. You need not follow me. You need not follow me in Twitter. No. Who asked you to follow me?
I'm not following you on Twitter. I have been sent your comment, which I found rather strange.
Then what do you mean by saying that is Twitter is between me and my followers.
No, on a Twitter or a public platform for an eminent lawyer and politician like yourself to make the suggestion that...
This is not a public platform. I have not called everybody... It's not a public platform.
It's a fairly public platform.
Don't try to overdraw yourself.
I think it's
not a public platform.
It's a fairly public platform.
Read the cyber law.
It's a fairly public platform.
Fairly public from.
Yes. You are trying to insinuate getting reactions here. Indira Jaising, 1 second. 1 second.
There is no question insinuating.
1 second. I am not insinuating.
Even the girl says in our interview, you are.
I am not insinuating.
After all, the girl herself, listen, the girl herself in a Wall Street Journal interview says that he has a spotless record. Now
what?
You want
that's what I call taking things out of context, Mr. Swamy.
Always wrong.
Mr. Swamy, I read out to you.
Gadkari,
Dr. Swamy,
and you got it wrong.
Dr. Swamy, no. Dr. Swamy, I'm very, very sorry that you are saying things like this, because I would like to read out to you what this girl says.
Sorry, but I'm very sorry. You're misusing your channel.
I am even more sorry than that, Mr. Swamy, Dr. Swamy. I'm even more sorry than that you do not regard what this law intern says. I will quote this and I'll get a response from Indira Jaising, because I believe to just put this thing, to string together this theory and to put up this trial balloon, I don't know why you say that this could be a, some kind of a frame-up of a Supreme Court judge. That is why this law intern is saying, and I quote, that what she has gone through, she's been brave. I think instead of saying this girl has been very brave to talk about the sexual assault on her.
Innocent men have not been framed in the past.
I am saying today...
innocent men also have been framed.
Yeah, but you've taken...
absolutely sure.
Indira Jaising and Kavita Krishnan.
You got a Supreme Court committee.
Okay, fine.
The Supreme Court committee come out with a
report. Fine, but it's not between you and me. I disagree with you. I have the right to disagree with you, but I must let the other panelists in. Indira Jaising, first of all.
You can disagree, but don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I question the words which you put on Twitter, and I want to hear your response from your mouth now. Indira Jaising will respond to you.
I will. I raised the question that Mr. Ganguly gave a first-class judgment on 2G.
No, these
Maybe
are...
a lot of people are hurt.
What question is this? You link 2G to what this girl is saying? You're saying this girl is being used as a pawn?
I'm not
to fight a corporate battle?
Now, don't again,
I think that's
don't
wrong,
be absurd.
sir.
I never said anything about this girl. I wanted to know whether this
sir, I think that's wrong.
Truth about this incident.
No, I think that's...
And I said, let us wait for the Supreme Court.
Okay, responses now. It's not between you and me. Indira Jaising will respond, and then so will Kavita Krishnan. Indira Jaising, first, please, your comments on this particular introductory comments of Dr. Subramanian Swamy.
Arnab, the first thing that I want to say is that Justice Ganguly himself has not alleged a conspiracy against him. And so long as he has not alleged a conspiracy against him, I don't think anyone else has a right to even vaguely suggest that there is a conspiracy. He has gone on record. He said, yes, she was at the hotel. He's admitted that she was at the hotel. So the scope for denying that is just out. He says, on the contrary, that she's a good friend, and she's a good friend of the family. Where is the conspiracy theory over here?
Where's the conspiracy? There's none.
Mention of it.
There's none.
So he doesn't mention it.
No, Subramanian Swamy mentions it.
Then what right? Exactly. But that's what I'm trying to tell Dr. Swamy, that when the individual concerned sees no conspiracy, where does he find it from?
Where do you find it from?
Yes, the individual also says no such incident took place.
You see, no.
That's what Mr. Justice Ganguly says. Why do you believe half of what he says?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. There is a 3-judge committee. They've given a report. It will be out in the public domain. Before it is out in the public domain, you have no business to allege conspiracy theories.
But he's not taking it back.
Arnab, one more thing.
What do you mean by business? You have no business to allege that a rape has taken place or a molestation has taken place.
Arnab,
you can allege that.
Arnab, may I say something, please? First of all, there's no scope for conspiracy theories. Secondly, let me say this loud and clear. No one, not the intern, not me, not anybody else, has questioned the judge's integrity in relation to the performance of his judicial duties.
Yeah, no.
Nobody here is saying that the 2G judgment was in any way flawed.
But that's got nothing to do with it.
So, exactly. Because it has nothing to do with it, this conspiracy theory is nothing but a ploy. It's nothing but a ploy to support him in the case of sexual harassment.
First of all, I have not made any conspiracy theories. I have not gone on public record to say make any public.
You have said it on Twitter, and I picked it up from there.
Let us wait for the.
You have said it on Twitter.
Don't push me into I've seen what you did with Mr. Gadkari and Mr. Srinivasan, and then you had to hit a humble pie.
What do you mean humble pie? I'm doing my job, Mr. Srinivasan. I have done my job. I say I do my job, Mr. Swamy.
I never said there was a conspiracy. I never said there was a conspiracy.
Well, no.
You are putting words in my mouth, and you are trying to make out a thing.
Well, there is.
I only said that we've got to be sure that he is not being slandered.
What do you mean? No, you use the word frame, Dr. Swamy. You use the word, I heard you use the word framed.
Exactly.
Frame up means what? Frame up means what, Dr. Swamy?
Being framed.
Frame up means what, Dr. Swamy?
That incident, I will tell you what frame up means.
Tell me.
An incident which did not take place, you are trying to make out that...
No, frame up implies conspiracy. Frame up implies conspiracy.
Frame up. Of course.
Conspiracy by whom?
There was no conspiracy.
Conspiracy by whom? By the victim?
Well, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people. We don't know.
Which people?
The whole interlinking of the
What is the... 1 minute. The only person... The only person in this case, Dr. Swamy, is the victim. The only person is the victim.
The victim may be there. But the question is that Mr. Ganguly said that...
What do you mean victim may be there? The victim comes out and says I was sexually assaulted. The victim comes out and says I was sexually assaulted.
Yes, and the judge says no such thing happened.
So are you saying the victim is part of a conspiracy, is being used as a pawn?
I didn't say wisdom is part of conspiracy. I said when the judges denied it, I'd like to be sure what has really happened.
Indira Jaising says to you,
I never said there was a conspiracy.
Indira Jaising says to you, Indira Jaising, no, we've got a lot to debate today. Indira Jaising says to you that Justice Ganguly is not even suggesting frame up or conspiracy. How can you?
May not be Ganguly, but he did say that he didn't say that this incident didn't take place.
I get Kavita Krishnan as the third voice on this debate tonight. No, 1 second. No, we have other things to debate on whether Justice Ganguly should resign or not on moral grounds, etc., etc. Before I go to that, Kavita Krishnan, your take on Subramanian Swamy's argument so far on this.
No, I don't even want to really dignify Mr. Swamy's, Dr. Swamy's argument, because, he tends to base who he defends in sexual assault cases based on his political convenience and so on. So Asaram can be defended and, now Justice Ganguly can be defended. So I really don't take that kind of approach very seriously at all. I feel that Justice Ganguly, undoubtedly, if you ask me, as a judge, his judgments have been his record on not only in his judicial role but in his role as a human rights chairperson and all have been beyond question. It's been very good. But does that mean that because I find him to be a good human rights chairperson in West Bengal, who has pulled up the West Bengal government on many things, does that mean that I will assume that this woman's complaint is this woman is a Mamata Banerjee pawn? I don't think so. I don't think that should be the approach. We cannot approach such questions with a political lens. This woman's complaint, let's understand what is the nature of it. We of course don't know the details, but what she has put on record is that she has experienced a long period of trying to come to terms with what happened to her. She has not sought a vendetta. She has even been very reluctant to name him. She has herself said, I respect his work so much. I find his record to be spotless. But I also, partly because I have a concern for his reputation and partly because I wonder who will believe me. I have found it very difficult to come forward and file a complaint and so on and so forth. This is what many women go through in such circumstances. And, it explains very, very credibly the delay and so on of some months. And essentially, there is nothing in her statement per se to assume that this is a vendetta or this is some kind of political game or conspiracy or anything like that. That said, I would like to say that, look, I think we expect in this, certain standards to be set of the response. I'm not declaring him guilty already. I'm saying we have to set certain standards of response, because let's be very clear that this case is being watched very carefully. Of course. What happens in this case will have bearings on every woman complainant in any sphere in future, not just against judges, but against anybody. So in such a case, I feel that if we expect, I would say that if a politician is expected to resign if there is a serious and reasonably credible prima facie case allegation against him, would we not say that he should resign? He can also claim that, oh, it's a rival who's trying to frame me. A professor who is accused of, Soli Sorabji asks about DU Vice Chancellor. I'm saying, yes, if a Vice Chancellor is accused, he can also claim, he can go around saying that a student got bad grades or something against me. But is that a ground to say? I think that standard has to be that if somebody is accused, pending inquiry,
what if the person is cleared later?
Pending inquiry, somebody has to step down.
One second. Let's get KTS Tulsi in on this. Sanjay Hegde also wanted to come in. We'll hear both points of view. I want to just say at this stage, consider the allegations made by this law intern against Justice Ganguly. She says she was sexually assaulted. Quote, not physically injurious, KTS Tulsi, but nevertheless violating from a man old enough to be my grandfather. Old enough to be my grandfather. Now, I think you will also have to consider that it is her word against the judges. And this girl has probably shown a lot of courage being a law student herself by publishing her account.
Yes. There are two values of the Constitution which are called the highest values of the Constitution, and these are under Articles 20 and 21. The first is that a person who is accused of having committed a crime is presumed to be innocent till proven guilty. We are reversing the presumption of innocence and presuming him to be guilty merely because an allegation has been made. The second value is a very precious value, that the person accused of an offense has a right of silence. You cannot force him to speak up and talk about the conspiracy theory. You can't force him, even the police can't force him to make any statement, answer a question which is self-incriminating. Now these are for centuries we have evolved these principles, and now we become part of the lynch mob.
Lynch mob?
Say, now you are guilty and resign.
Who's the lynch mob here?
This is not how
the respected opinion of the additional Solicitor General, even if...
Not at all, Arnab.
You know, even if you very often want to say that you, Arnab, in the media, you are part of the lynch mob, but do you mean to say Indira Jaising is part of the lynch mob?